I'm Sorrel Rosen. I'm a freshman at UO. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm a family and human services major. I see myself as queer, trans, non-binary. I see myself as me more than any particular identity. I identify more as a female, but also I wouldn't say that I fit perfectly into this rigid gender binary. I'd say I'm in the more feminine side of our modern gender binary. And it was very reassuring to know, especially with the gender equity floor, it was reassuring to know that I'd have somewhere where I could live and be myself. It's a place that no matter who you are, you can exist in. And it's everything that I was looking for in a school, but in one place. There's an interesting dynamic having people learn about our identities and our past and the history of our identities. Knowing where you came from is important. Knowing what people have done in the past for your rights really just opens your eyes. I knew I wanted to come out for a very long time, and when I was first starting to realize that I wasn't a boy, but also not a girl, and I didn't really know what to do about that, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and so I went back into the closet and didn't tell anyone. Once she was in remission for the final time, I decided it was time to come out to her as trans, which wasn't easy, but it went better than I expected, at least with her. There were other queer kids at my school, but I didn't feel a sense of community. And so between staff and students bullying me, I really hated school. It was not easy, and I didn't think that I'd ever make it here. I had no sense of life beyond high school. I didn't think I was going to graduate high school. But college was an expectation of my parents. And looking around, I didn't think there was a college for me. And I didn't know any other trans people either. So I had no basis of like what it's like to grow up being trans and like being successful with that. I'd look at colleges and I'd reach out to trans people who were there, and I was usually met with, "Don't come here. It's bad. The people are horrible." A few colleges I ended up applying to said that I could only live with people with penises. Word for word, after promoting that they were very trans inclusive, which I thought was odd. So out of all the lists that I looked on, University of Oregon was the only school that wasn't Ivy League that was on those lists, and there was no way I was getting to Ivy League schools. So when I came here and visited, nobody was staring at me or saying things to me or about me, which wasn't something I've experienced since I came out to that point. I like to do a lot of activism work for queer people and fight for the rights of queer people. My attitude and the way that I push for these rights has definitely changed throughout the class, and how I conduct myself and how I hold myself has definitely changed because I've learned what works and what has worked and what has been done and what needs to be done. And I don't think I had a full understanding of that. I can't speak for every trans person. I can only speak from my own experience. And this class has really helped me understand what I can do for the queer community and what I should do for the queer community. And tying that in with the other students and hearing what they have to say and their experiences really. There are people who I've met in this arc that I see as family and will always see as family. And that's common within the queer community. A lot of people, their biological families aren't there for them, so we have to be there for each other.